For thousands of years, we've known the Mahabharata as this epic story of war, family, betrayal, and honor. But what if I told you that hidden inside all those millions of words, there's a secret? A precise philosophical code for understanding reality itself. It's called the Vedanta Rahasya, and today we're going to crack it wide open. So, how in the world can a story about a massive, catastrophic war also be a user's manual for enlightenment? What exactly is this secret and why hide it in a story in the first place? That's the mystery we're unraveling right now.
Okay, so to get to the answer, you first have to understand that the Mahabharata wasn't just written to be a blockbuster story. No, it was deliberately built to be a vehicle, a carrier for a really profound teaching.
In Hindu tradition, you've basically got two kinds of texts. First, there's Shruti, which means what is heard. Think of this as pure, divine, capital T truth, like the Vedas. It's the source code. Then you have Smriti, or what is remembered. These are works by brilliant human authors designed to explain that divine truth. The Mahabharata is Smriti, and its job is massive, to take the absolute, sometimes mind-bending truths of Shruti and make them relatable to all of us. And what's the specific truth it's trying to deliver? It's this, the Vedanta Rahasya, the esoteric secret of Vedanta philosophy. It really all boils down to understanding three huge ideas. Brahman, which is the ultimate reality. Atman, your true deep-down self. And moksha, the path to freedom from the whole cycle of suffering.
So where does the epic first start to unpack this secret? You might expect a quiet monastery or a peaceful ashram. But no, it happens in the most chaotic, high-stakes place you can imagine. A battlefield, just moments before a world-ending war is about to kick off.
Picture this. Our hero, the legendary warrior Arjuna, is ready to lead the charge. But then he looks across the battlefield and he sees his family, his cousins, his beloved teachers, his own grandfathers. He just breaks. He's torn apart between his duty as a warrior, his dharma, and his love and attachment for his family, his moha. He literally collapses in despair. And this is where his charioteer, who just happens to be the god Krishna in disguise, steps in. He doesn't just pat him on the back and say, "It'll be okay." He completely flips the problem on his head. He says, "Look, you're focused on the wrong thing. Stop worrying about the results, about winning or losing, life or death. The secret," Krishna reveals, is to perform your duties selflessly, without any attachment to the outcome. But how is that even possible for a human being to do? Well, Krishna gives Arjuna the first key to this whole secret. Understanding who you really are. The Atman, the self. He explains that your true essence isn't your body, your thoughts, or your ego. It's pure consciousness. It's timeless. It can't be hurt and it can't be destroyed. And that single idea is the foundation for being able to act without fear. Okay, but a big metaphysical concept is one thing. Actually living it is something else entirely. And this is where the genius of the Bhagavad Gita really shines. It doesn't just give you theory, it gives you a practical blueprint, a roadmap. It does this by laying out three distinct paths, or yogas, to get you there. First up, for the person who's all about doing things in the world, there's Karma Yoga, the path of action. You do your work, you perform your duty to the absolute best of your ability, but you offer up the fruits of that labor. You let go of the results, which frees you from all the anxiety about how it's going to turn out.
Then for the thinkers, the intellectuals among us, there's Jñāna Yoga. This is the path of knowledge. It's all about using your intellect, your power of discrimination, to constantly ask, what is real and what is temporary? To separate the eternal self, the Atman, from everything else.
And finally, for the person who's driven by heart and emotion, there's Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. This path is about channeling all of your love and emotional energy towards the divine, surrendering your ego and turning every single action into an offering. Now here's what's so brilliant. The Gita doesn't say pick one, it shows how they all work together. Selfless action, Karma Yoga, purifies your mind. Knowledge, Jnana Yoga, gives you the wisdom to see clearly. And devotion, Bhakti Yoga, gives you the powerful motivation to actually let go of your ego. It's a complete, holistic system designed for every kind of person out there. So you might be thinking, okay, great, the Bhagavad Gita laid out this perfect system. Problem solved, right? Well, Not so fast, because after the war ends, the epic isn't done teaching. Far from it. In fact, there's a whole other massive section of philosophy, which begs the question, why?
The answer is all about context. The war is over, Arjuna's side won, but the victory feels like ashes in their mouths. The new king, Yudhishthira, is completely shattered by the death he's caused. He's drowning in grief and trauma. And that fiery, motivational speech that worked for a soldier on the brink of battle, it's just not enough for a king trying to heal a broken world and a broken soul. He needs something else, something deeper.
And this really shows you the different jobs these two texts are doing. The Gita was urgent, a shot of adrenaline for a warrior who needed to act now. But this later section, the Moksha Parva, it's calm, it's systematic. It's like a graduate-level course for a king who needs to rebuild. The goal isn't just to solve one crisis, it's about the long-term stabilization of the soul.
So what's the core of this deeper post-war wisdom? It all comes down to this one single powerful realization, the very heart of Vedanta. True knowledge isn't about learning a million facts. It's when you finally start to see the underlying unity in all of the world's endless variety. It's about seeing the one in the many.
And all of this has been building to the final reveal. Because the deepest, most well-hidden secret of the Mahabharata isn't a single line of text or one big idea. It's actually baked into the very structure of the epic itself.
The epic's true masterpiece is something you could call its theological elasticity. So what on earth does that mean? It means the text was intentionally written to be flexible, to be stretchy. It was designed to support multiple, even seemingly contradictory interpretations of the truth.
And here is the absolute proof. For more than 1,000 years, the greatest philosophical minds in India have argued about this stuff. The Advaita school says your individual self is the ultimate reality. They're one and the same. The Vishishtadvaita school says no, the self is an inseparable part of that reality. And the Advaita school says they're both wrong. The self is eternally different from reality. I mean, these are fundamentally incompatible ideas. And yet, and this is the mind-blowing part, all three of these legendary schools use the Mahabharata as their foundational text. That's not a bug, it's the epic's greatest feature.
So, let's put it all together. What is the Vedanta Rahasya, the big secret? It's actually a three-part secret. First, the metaphysical part. We are all fundamentally connected to one single ultimate reality. Second, the moral part. Real freedom isn't found by running away from the world, it's found by changing how you act within it. And third, and maybe most importantly, the pluralistic part. There is no one-size-fits-all path to truth.
When you boil it all down, the Mahabharata's most powerful, enduring secret is just that. The path isn't one, it's many. It gives its blessing to a whole diversity of ways to approach life's biggest questions. So the question it leaves for us, thousands of years later, is a personal one. What does that mean for your own search for truth?